Salt Lake City, you did it. Flawless season, 10 out of 10. And listen, I am a Housewives skeptic, or maybe an expert, because I've been watching since season 1 of OC, okay? I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. So I can spot a terrible season, and I can give you the 1, 2, and 3 reasons why it wasn't that good. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I have no notes. It was so good. It was so good. Congratulations to the ladies, to cast, the ladies, crew, production, bravo. Spectacular season. I was here for it. I'm still here for it. I'm so excited today to jump into the finale recap, and I'm excited to also start recapping the reunions as well as more reality TV. So what's up, everyone? I'm Tierney, and I'm just giving this YouTube thing a go. I spend so much time watching the Housewives and other reality shows, and I always want to talk about it with someone. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start a channel. So we're just going to see how this goes. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it anyway. I might as well talk about it with some people. So definitely comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you agree with, what you may disagree with. We can agree to disagree. Just keep it cute in the comments, okay? So like I said, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This was the finale of their season 5. Season 5, y'all. That's insane. I remember I skipped season 1 because I was like, Salt Lake. Okay, no offense to anyone who lives out there. But then as I ended up watching the reunion because I love a reunion. So I was like, okay, let me watch the reunion. And I feel like not when the reunion came out, but I feel like all the Jen Shah stuff was made public right before season 2 aired, I think. So I was like, oh, I gotta see this. So I started with the reunion, and I was like, what? And I remember seeing the things trend on Twitter, like, you smell like hospital, or some lady married her grandfather. And I was like, what the, like, these chicks sound crazy. So I was always kind of intrigued, but like I said, I was like, Salt Lake City, they're going to focus so much on religion. It's not going to be like the classic Housewives, and boy, was I wrong. It does obviously incorporate a lot of the religion, but it's from a really interesting cultural perspective that I can really respect. And it's a gorgeous backdrop. I love like the snowy mountains, and it seems like a gorgeous place. The people there are batshit, but you know, same could be said about Jersey, Potomac, like whatever. So, yeah, let's go ahead and dive right in, and let's see. So I'm going to attempt I have some notes, so I'm not fully off the dome, but I did not take copious notes. I did take more thorough notes for my Beverly Hills recap. And so do me a favor, watch this and watch my Beverly Hills recap, and let me know if you prefer one way or the other, if you prefer more like step-by-step of what happened, or if you want me to kind of go off top and like move through. We're going to see how it goes, because it's not about perfection. It's about just getting things going, getting the ball rolling. So that's what I'm going to do. It's almost the end of January. I'm trying to start making some moves. And I just hope that y'all are having a fabulous new year and going after your dreams or your goals or your, or just exploring new things. Like, let's just do it. Why the fuck not? Like, I'm not even, that's going to take us to a whole other avenue, but I'm just going to leave it with those gems. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So let's get started. The episode opens with Meredith having coffee. She has like a furry, like eye patch, like blindfold eye patch, sleep mask. It might have been a sleep mask, like tilted to one side. She's looking crazy, but I'm here for it. Heather comes out. They talk about that Meredith scratched her cornea and realized it in the middle of the night. I don't know. Child, there's always something wrong with Meredith. She's sick, she's this, she's that. I'm like, Lord. And then the first thing I thought was like, okay, another trip with an eye issue. Like, why can't y'all go somewhere and not have an eye issue? Heather with the black eye, now Meredith with the scratched cornea, a hot mess, but these are our friends. So they talk about that, and then Heather was like, "Oh, Meredith, like, is everything okay? You yelled at me for the first time last night. Like, I can't believe you yelled at me." I was like, girl, she did not yell. Like, Meredith yells, but towards Heather, I feel like she was kind of just more so defensive and more so just like, really, like, et tu? Like, why are you also commenting about my marriage and commenting about, different things? I've already been through enough. Why? And I feel like she was stern with her, but it was not yelling. It was not like the way she was yelling at Brittany in the prior episode. And how we have seen her, how she yelled later on in this episode. We know what yelling is. We know what Meredith's level of yelling is. It was not that. I was like, Heather, pfft. But anyway, Meredith is like, well, that's why I led with an apology. I was like, where's the apology? I was like, girl, maybe production cut that out because I didn't see the apology. But Heather was gracious enough to just kind of like eat it and move on and just say like, okay, I accept. Like, thank you so much for apologizing. So I was like, okay. So I appreciate that they were able to quickly move by it because it wasn't that serious. Okay, so then the next scene, the ladies all join together without Lisa because they all have brunette wigs and they're all dressed up as Lisa because Heather organized an ode to Lisa Barlow. So she organized a lunch themed as Lisa Barlow. Everyone came with their best Lisa. And Heather was like, I just want to thank her for putting together this great trip. I know I really love a theme lunch, a theme party. Lisa hates themes, but I know one theme she's going to love, and it's going to be Lisa. And I think it's cute. Like, I really liked it, but I was also like, okay, Heather, you can get your lips off of, it's okay. I think Lisa, you're still in good with her. It's okay. You can remove the lips and you need a little chapstick because all that ass kissing, girl, like, it's okay. But I did like the theme. The theme was actually really good. So I also can't hate on it. And it's funny because I noticed Whitney walking in had Lisa's walk down. I never really noticed her walk. Like she was kind of walking like this and had her holding her bag and cut to Lisa walking in and she was doing the same thing. And I was like, Whitney did that on point. I was like, okay, Whitney, I see you, girl. So they're all joining together. Lisa walks in and she's like, and Meredith is like, this is the first time I've seen her speechless in 10 years. I love Meredith. So they all go to the lunch. The staff is like unimpressed. Like Lisa checks in on her reservation. She's like, hi, like reservation for 8 Lisas. The lady's like, I don't get it. And then same with the waiter. They were all just doing their best Lisa. Like every time Lisa ordered something, the group was like, I love that. I love that. Just like Lisa. Lisa, I know she's a terrible person, but I love her. Like, I know, okay? I know. But I think you can't argue, she owns who she is. And maybe that's why I just like it. She owns who she is. She's confident in who she is. And even though it's a terrible person, or at least we only see not we only see the terrible, but we see a lot of the terrible parts of her. I'm like, I love it. She's good TV. And the girls honestly make her the main character because they're all vying and clawing for her friendship. And so, she really is that girl in SLC because the team the group has propped her up to be so. And so maybe I just like the queen bee, but I like her. I'm sorry, I can't. But so, Heather kind of like intros, like the lunch. It was like, thanks everyone for being a good sport. We're just here to thank Lisa. I thought we should all do our greatest Lisa impression. So I'm not going to go through one by one, but a lot of them were pretty much just really highlighting how materialistic Lisa can be. So they were just talking about like, oh, you got a Range Rover, I got a G-Wagon. Oh, I have glam and Saint-Tropez and here. Oh, I own this. Oh, I got that. Oh, I went to this runway show. Like, it was like a lot of that, right? Very Lisa. So they were pretty good, they were pretty good, whatever. Then it gets to ding, 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 round one of this episode of Lisa and Whitney. So Whitney does her impression and, starts off kind of like generic, and it was like, oh, I have $20,000 rings and I have 3 of them and da-da-da. And then she like walks away, and as she turns around, she has tags in the back of her outfit. And I saw them earlier and I was like, is no one gonna tell her this? So I'm glad they actually talked about it, because I noticed it earlier in the episode and I was like, girl. So she walks away and you can see the tags in her shirt and in her pants or whatever. Her 3-year-old Tom Ford pants that Lisa Barlow pointed out. So she's walking away, and Lisa was enjoying it at first. So she was like, she really liked the impression and she liked all the other ones. So she was in good spirits. She was taking it. And when she, Whitney did her impression, Lisa liked it. And then she turned around and she was like, oh, Whitney, your tags are showing. You forgot to take them off. And Whitney was like, oh yeah, because I'm going to return these later. I'm returning these back to the store. And Lisa switched. And she was like, okay, no, that's not me. No, that's not me. I don't do that. So I was cracking up. And so then Lisa was like, well, I heard you did do that. And I heard, like, girl, I'm so sick of Whitney. I think Whitney is an important part of the cast. I think the cast is amazing. But Whitney, and we'll get more into this later. It's always, I heard. Girl, where's your proof? Come on, stop. Every once in a while, it's fun to kiki, have a little, girl, let me tell you. I get it. We all do that. But I'm never confronting people on some BS. Like, you might little gossip here and there with your bestie, fine. But I'm never going to be like accusing someone of something and it's based off of I heard. Okay. Anyway, I mean, I guess we wouldn't have a show without it, so maybe I shouldn't complain. But so she's like, oh, well, I heard you did that. And she's like, you're wrong. Like, you know nothing. So what else did they say in this conversation? So, so then Whitney lays into Lisa and she's like, I just think you're really fake. This is not verbatim, but this is kind of like the gist of what she said. She's like, you're incapable of having deep friendship. You're incapable of talking about feelings. Yes, feelings. And I'm like, girl, I'm so sick of Whitney. Whitney, you can't talk about feelings or Helen for all next season. We need a break. We, the people, need a break. Okay? Anyway. You're incapable of having deep friendships. I think you're really surface level. I think you're this. I think you're that. Cut to her confessional. And she's like, oh, I would rather die than be Lisa Barlow. But, since I have to do this impression, I'm just going to be the cattiest, most materialistic, fake bitch. Whitney, you and Heather are the most pressed to be Lisa Barlow's friend. If Lisa called you tomorrow and was like, I need you to forsake your family, like, I need you to leave your husband, ignore your kids, and I will be your best friend, Whitney would do it. I'm fully convinced that Whitney would do it. Like, you can't tell me, oh, you're so fake, I don't like her. I would rather do anything than be her. When for the past 5 seasons, you have shown us anything but. You have shown us, even at your times of clashing, you have always held space of, well, she made me mad, but if she wants me back, I will be her friend. Like, I just want to be close with her. I want to be on her team. I want her to embrace me and accept me and love me. And for now, it seems like Heather got there, but we already know how things change. So we'll see how long this lasts, but I'm surprised it lasted the whole season. We'll see. But I was like, that's, you want to be her friend. Cut the cap. So anyway, Lisa is like, I'm fake. I'm fake. And for a minute she was like smiling. And I was like, is this fake? Like, is this like produced? Is this like a fake moment? But she might have been like laughing like, oh, this is laughable coming from you, Miss Hiller. So maybe she was laughing at that. I don't know. But she had like this weird smile, like, I'm fake. I'm fake. Like she couldn't almost hold in her laughter. But maybe she's just like, man, Whitney's such a clown. I have nothing to do but laugh. So maybe that's what it was. But anyway, so she was like, no, your gut is off. It's leaking. Take a probiotic. I was like, please. So dumb, but I'm here for it. I love it. So they both got some good shots in. And Lisa was like, if you have proof of me, saying anything about your business, returning clothes, being this fake bitch, send me the proof. She said, give me the proof and I will sue whoever gave you that proof. And I'll sue you. I'll sue the f out of you and I'll take your new house. I said, get her. Get her. Once again, crickets. Every time Lisa has asked for proof from Whitney, including later on in this episode, but every time during this season, Lisa has been very clear. Tell me the proof. Give me the proof. Show me, because I got a team of people for that ad. Like, she is so vehement, right? She's vehemently saying that she did not do this. And she's like, I did not do this. Whatever proof you have is fake, and I can sue you and prove that it's fake in the court of law and run those pockets dry. So let's go. Like, Lisa, I'm believing Lisa at this point, because it's not like Lisa runs away from it or changes the subject. Every time Whitney was on some BS, Lisa has said, give me the proof. Tell me. And it's always, hey, I heard of it. And it's like, okay, excuse me. So then, Brittany chimes in defense of Lisa and was like, I just want to say that, I haven't known her this long, but she is so loyal and she's so nice, and just kind of like big upping Lisa as if she needs another like ass kisser, but I'm sure Lisa loved it. So she's like, I just want to say, she said all these like great things about Lisa. And Mary, who can't stand Brittany, was like, oh girl, why are you even talking? Like, we haven't forgot about you. Like, maybe the rest of this table got a little tipsy and forgot about you recording them. I didn't forget. Like, why are you even talking? You shouldn't even be in this. And so then Brittany was like, well, no, you do the same thing. Like, she basically turned it back on Mary and was like, you do the same thing. And I'm like, are you talking about Mary, like, recording Whitney jump, or saying that she should record Whitney jump off the cliff into the water? Like, I'm sure as they were on vacation, they did different videos and different, take a picture of me, take a video of this, da-da-da-da-da. So I'm sure Mary did that. Like she said in one of the episodes, oh man, that was so cool. I should have took a picture of that. Like, or I should have took a video. So I was like, are you implying that you saw Mary recording in that sense? Like, I don't see Mary recording. Like, that's not Mary's style. That is the style of a thirsty little, like you, Brittany. And, so anyway, so she basically turned it on Mary and was like, oh, you do the same thing, like da-da-da-da-da. So other people chimed in and was like, no, like that's you. No one else here records. That's just you. And then Meredith jumps in and she's like, I don't know if Meredith chimed in or if Brittany brought Meredith in, but basically Meredith was kind of basically saying, yeah, I'm not here for this behavior. And then Brittany was like, and you know what, Meredith? I will never recover from the things you said to me. Like, I just, basically calling her vile and you're disgusting. We're not, we don't want you here, whatever. Again, the fragility. I cannot. Because if someone was acting like a raging bull, like I think it was funny. I don't know. On screen, it was funny. Maybe in person, it wasn't. But I was like, okay. So she's like, I will just never recover from the things you did. And Meredith stood in it. She was like, I had enough of you. I'm done. I'm done. And so with that, Brittany got upset and was like, well, clearly I have no friends here. And she gets up and leaves. And Mary was like, let her go. Like, don't chase her. Let her go. That's me. You want to do a grand exit. You're going to look real stupid because you're going to be sitting out there until I'm done whatever I'm doing and until I leave. And then when I leave, I'm going to look at you like, and keep walking. I'm not chasing you. What do I look like? So Meredith is me in this moment. Like, let her go, whatever. But Angie feels bad and gets up and walks out with her. And Mary clocks it and was like, why is she leaving? Okay. So Angie goes, and so does Lisa. They go, they try to cheer her up, whatever. So I think Heather went out there too. They cheer her up. So then next, the team splits for 2 different activities. One group goes to horseback riding, another group goes to making ceviche. So I don't think anything really that important happened during the ceviche making, but during the horseback riding, it was Bronwyn, Mary, Lisa, and Meredith that went horseback riding. And I think the main thing that happened in this scene was that in the extended version on Peacock, the uncensored version, is that after they were done horseback riding, Mary took the girls aside. First of all, before I say that, it was so funny seeing them get in the water. So they put their feet in the water after they were riding the horses, and they were just kind of like walking on the beach and had their feet in the water. And the way they were like clamoring on about this water as if they've never been to a beach before, they're like, oh my God, it feels so good. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Oh, and it's nice to be appreciative. Like, I'm here for like the gratefulness of it all, but it was like, all right, you don't need to say it 10 times. Like, it was funny to me as I was rewatching it. That was something I picked up on one of the later times that I watched it. And I was like, it's a little overkill, but cool, whatever. So as they were doing that, Mary was like, oh, Lisa, like, by the way, like, I'm done with Angie. And they're like, why? And she was like, she went and followed Brittany out, and I am big on loyalty, and I don't appreciate that. And Angie knows that I get a different energy from Brittany, and Brittany does not like me. So if someone doesn't like me and mistreats me and accuses me of something and walks away, why are you then following them? So that's basically what she said. And they were like, oh my God, like, have you talked to her about it? And she was like, yeah, I told her, about the way she makes me feel, blah, blah, blah. So that was important. So fast forward, the girls are then back at the villa. They're getting ready, and they all get in their golf carts and go to, was it a golf cart or I forget now. I don't know, whatever. They all go to the restaurant, the restaurant. First of all, this restaurant and the whole resort, they did that because I said, come on, free promotion. Because the way that they had the product placement and the sign of the resort and, multiple times throughout the episode. And then I would see a commercial for the resort. I was like, get it, because now I want to go. So they go to like an exclusive preview of this amusement park, and they all sit down, and it looks gorgeous. The whole trip has been gorgeous. So Lisa, production, whoever else coordinated this, y'all did that for real. It was a beautiful trip. So they all sit down and they order, and Angie asked Mary if she wanted some of her pepperoni pizza, and Mary's ignoring her. And then, Angie senses the change of energy, and she was just like, okay, I feel like you've been so quiet towards me. You've been quiet with me today. Like, what's going on? And Mary, for the first few minutes, is like a brick wall. And she was just like, well, take a guess. Like, what do you think? What do you think you did? And she eventually says, you went out and chased Brittany. I'm here for loyalty. I can't believe you did that. Like, I'm done with you. And I will say, they basically go back and forth. And I think what breaks through that wall is that Angie was very persistent and sweet and kind. And she didn't give up, which is the definition of persistent. But she didn't give up and that's something I probably need to work on, because if someone shut me out, first of all, if someone was acting kind of funny, I probably would. Okay, years ago, if I noticed a sense of energy years ago, I'd be like, well, F you too then, bye. And I would not even care. As I'm a little older, I would kind of make the move of like, hey, are you okay? Are we okay? Did I do something? And then if you still hit me with the wall and the, oh, well, I don't know, take a guess, I don't know, I'm like, all right, girl, I don't have time. And so I have not elevated to Angie's persistence yet, so I'm gonna try to grow, because like I said, I usually give one chance and then I'm like, okay, vaya con Dios. So she was really sweet and patient with her. And what got to Mary was that she was like, you changed my life. You changed my life. Like, I don't know how I was saying, she's choking up, and I was like, and you know, because before that she was like, you know, are you really shutting me out? Like, you said God put us together. And Mary was like, I could have been wrong. I'm human. I make mistakes. Like, and she kept kind of like shutting her out. But then when Angie said, you changed my life, I look at you differently than anyone here, that really got to Mary. Am I gonna tear up? I can't. So that really got to Mary. And then they just started kind of like holding each other's hand right across Whitney. It was so funny. Like, if I was Whitney, I would have gotten up. I would have been like, okay, like, you guys sit together. Don't reach over me. I can't stand people. I think that's so rude. I know it was like a tender moment, but if I was Whitney, I would have been like, do you want to switch with me? Like, or I just would have moved. But they like awkwardly like hold hands over Whitney, and Mary shares, you know, just some more information about her background and why she responded the way she did, and basically talked about her father abandoning the family and leaving her, and specifically apparently citing, I pray an adult did not do this, but it's something that's been staying with Mary, so I guess it has some truth. Apparently, as he was leaving, or before he left, he had said, you know, she's too outspoken, like, in so many words, like, I don't like her, like, talking about Mary. And oh God, I can't imagine that. She said she was only 6, and I have a 5-year-old, and who will be 6 in like 3 months. And it's crazy how Mary's late 40s, early 50s. It's crazy that something that happened when she was that young, like, stays with her. And so I just urge all of you guys to be careful how you deal with people. Just treat your kids tenderly. Give others grace. You just don't know what other people are holding on to and what's triggering people. Because I was like, you know, from Mary's point of view, yeah, that would be annoying that you go follow my op. Like, I don't know, calling Brittany an op is a little strong, but it would be annoying if you went and followed someone who I didn't like. But like, from Angie's point of view, maybe seeing someone run off crying, maybe that triggered Angie, and maybe she has experience of maybe getting upset and leaving and no one being there to comfort her. Like, you just don't know. And so that's another thing I want to be more cognitive. That's another thing I want to be more aware of, is just, I just want to think about it more, because you always hear the saying, you don't know what people are dealing with. And that's so true. And just keeping that at the forefront of how I deal with people, how I respond to people, how I kind of interpret people's like actions. And everyone is just, we all have our own trauma and we all respond to it differently and deal with it differently. And yeah, it's just something to remember, because you just never know. So anyway, Mary talked about her father leaving the family when she was 6. She also talked about her mother abandoning her after she got older. And I think that was the marriage to Robert Sr. that severed that tie. So that's been over 20 years of just really no contact with her mother. And so she's like, you know, so I am walking around as an adult with abandonment issues, and as soon as I feel betrayed or I feel any red flags, like, I have to protect myself. Like, that's my armor, and that's why I do that. She said something in her confessional, like, I will unremember you. I was like, ooh, and I can kind of do that too. So I should probably be better about that too. Because I don't know, I feel like some people need to be unremembered depending on what they did. But in this case, I don't think Angie meant any harm. And I'm so glad that they were able to repair their friendship, because I really liked it. I really enjoyed it in the show. And I hope Mary gets more help. I hope everyone gets the help they need. We all have our ish. And let's all just remember that and give each other grace. But then we also need to work it out ourselves and make sure we don't spew the venom that's in here out towards others, because it's not other people's fault of whatever happened to us years ago. So, yeah. So that was a beautiful moment, and Heather kind of rounds out the moment. And I really liked how the ladies let them talk and have that moment, because we've seen throughout the season, whenever there is a conversation, the group has no problem like jumping in and chiming in. But it was such a great moment. And I think it's because it was so real that they knew not to even get in the middle of that. And I really appreciated that. And it was just beautiful. So, so then Heather rounds it out, and she was like, oh, that was so beautiful, and kind of reassures Mary, like, no, like, Angie, she really loves you, like, I know her, she loves you, she's a real one, really just kind of reinforcing that Angie really cares for Mary. And she was like, so does anyone else need to clear the air? I was like, oh, here we go, let's get this mess started. And Meredith addresses Whitney and was like, okay, so, a while ago you said that you got proof from a podcaster about having proof that Lisa tried to tell the blogs or tell different outlets that your pieces from your jewelry line came from Alibaba. And that same podcaster reached out to me and told me a very different story. And they said, you tried to get that proof, but he never gave you the proof. And so he basically had a very different story than what Whitney had told us in prior episodes. And they go back and forth. And then Whitney, once again, when the opportunity presents itself to have proof, because I would have been like, first of all, I would have given proof episodes ago when Lisa asked, but again, I would have been like, oh yeah, here's the text, the this, the that. That didn't happen, because she says, oh yeah, because he called me, and I'm like, that's not proof, honey. A phone call, a text that says, I'm going to call you with the proof, that is not proof. So she's still kind of like tap dancing around, what really happened. And then she kind of like deflects and kind of throws out a little zinger of, because we're talking about Alibaba, right? Then she kind of like deflects and was like, well, I have proof that Lisa talks to Reality Von Teese, and that she puts things in the outlets and in the blogs and stuff like that. What? So again, Lisa's like, what's your proof? No, I didn't. She's denying it. So then Heather asked the very important question, okay, how would you know? How do you know? And Whitney's like, oh, well, I reached out to Monica. Dun, dun, dun. Everyone's gagged. Heather's mouth was like hanging open for like 10 minutes. Like, so Heather chastises Whitney, like, why would you do that? How thirsty do you have to be? Blah, blah, blah. And Whitney's like, well, I felt cornered. And Heather's like, I didn't corner you. And she was like, no, not you, pointing to Heather. These two, pointing at Lisa and Meredith. And Lisa's like, don't you point your finger at me. Get out my face. And then she goes, so she went from pointing one finger at Lisa to both of them. And the camera angles. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love this show. She's like, get your hands out my face. Oh my gosh. I was like, Lord. So Whitney's also jumping in, like, don't put my bad behavior onto you, because like Heather was saying something to the effect of like, why does this blogger even have your phone number? Like blah, 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 blah. Like Heather was not here for a third party kind of infiltrating the group yet again, stirring up some mess. And so she was kind of chastising both Whitney and Meredith. And Meredith was like, nah, like what I did and what Whitney did are two different things. He just kind of told me the truth and cleared things up. Whitney sought this guy out and was seeking and doing and all these things. And she's like, nah, the two ain't the same, boo-boo. And so, Meredith was still kind of on Whitney, like, nah, like, don't put your bad behavior onto me, that you've done this, this, and this. You're always running your mouth, like, just kind of going in a little bit. And Mary jumps in and tries to cool things down and was just like, hey, people do crazy things when they feel cornered. Like, you guys are not the nicest people. And when someone feels in despair, they might do things that they don't usually do. She didn't say it like that, but that's like the gist. And Meredith tried to like exonerate herself. She was like, even me, Mary? She was like, yeah, yes, you do. Yes, Mary. I love this show. I love all these people. And so then Heather goes into like her monologue of like, we're so consumed with the screenshots and the proof, and you have these people turning us against each other, and we try to hold ourselves above board, but we haven't been. We should be honoring each other, holding this as a safe space, but we have been just really tearing each other down. And we kind of made fun of Monica for having a burned book, but the fact is we all have burned books and say hurtful things on our own phones. And what else did she say? She said, we thought we got rid of the problem, talking about Monica. I caught that. You got rid of the problem, AKA we didn't want to film with her and now she's gone, but y'all lucky you had a good season without her, so fine. She's like, we thought we got rid of the problem, but we still have this problem. We're still talking about each other poorly. We're still just hyper-focused on all these things that don't matter, instead of really holding a safe space, because we have the world that is already attacking us and we're also attacking each other, and that's not the move. So she said, so what we're going to do to clear it up, we're going to solve this problem tonight. Heather has the genius, idea to really clear things up, and she challenges everyone to pull out the meanest text that they have about someone sitting at the table, hand them the phone and let this person read it, and then when that person reads it, they have to receive it and dead it and burn it, and it's done, and let's clear this air once and for all, and let's all heal and move on. That was the intention, right? How do you think it went? So, all right, thanks for hanging on with me. This is kind of longer than I thought. So now, okay, I did not, like I said, I didn't write everything down, and I don't have any videos because I'm still learning how to record this. If I do figure out how to add videos and layer things in, I will, but child, you're just gonna have to take my storytelling right now. And storytelling's an art in many cultures, so hopefully you are entertained. So, okay. So she has this idea to talk about the mean text, and Mary volunteers first, and she's like, Heather, I wrote something about you. And Mary's text, while it critiqued Heather, it was not mean. It actually made it critiqued Heather and made Mary kind of look like she was in a good light because it was like basically saying that Heather changed, kind of like the fame went to her head, which we all have been saying. Since she's been really successful, she's thrown that in other people's faces. She's now very mean, and just there was a personality shift when she became successful. And I just wish that she would appreciate her blessings and really appreciate the people that have been there from the beginning, rather than kind of dismissing us. That's kind of the vibe of that text. And I was like, Mary, maybe that was the meanest thing that you haven't shared, because we know Mary has no problem telling you directly how she feels about you. Like, she told Heather she looked inbred. She told Whitney that she's racist. So not that I feel like Mary was afraid. Maybe she sent that text to Whitney season 2 of like, I'm better than you. Like, I'm older than you, but I look younger than you. And I don't need a fake nose and a fake eyebrows. And I don't need this. I don't need fake boobs and a tummy tuck. Like, she ran down the list. I was like, you need all that, not me. And I still look better than you. So maybe that was the worst thing in her phone that she hasn't shared, because Lord knows she has no problem sharing everything else. So that was the first thing. Then Brittany was like, okay, I'll go next. Like, my text was about you, Mary. I was like, here we go, child. She said, her text said, I want to invite Bronwyn over for tea instead of Mary. And Mary's face was like, when were we supposed to have tea? Like, Mary did not care. Like, she was like, when were we supposed to have tea? I don't want to have tea with you anyway. Like, so we moved on from there. That was funny. We needed that break because the rest of these texts were horrendous. And they were bad. So then Bronwyn shares her text about Brittany. And she said a lot in this text. It was... okay, I can't remember verbatim, but basically, like, Brittany triggers Bronwyn because she parentifies her children. I think that was a low blow. Like, I don't know, leave kids and parenting, all that, leave that out the way. But anyway, she parentifies her children. She trauma bonds with people. She's like constantly trauma dumping, and she's acting below her intelligence level, and she's emotionally manipulative. Like, she went in. Like, I think she definitely accurately assessed some things, but I think some of those things are also within Bronwyn, and that's why it triggers her to be like, oh, I don't like that. Because, like, we sometimes don't like what we see in the mirror. When we see our bad traits in other people, we're so quick to call that out, and we don't realize that we also hold that in. And so I think it was twofold, and I think that's why she gets triggered, because yeah, I think Bronwyn hides it a little more and is more composed, but I think she has a lot of similarities to Brittany. So, hot take. Brittany handled it well. She was like, you don't even know me to know all this stuff. Like, okay. So Bronwyn was like, hey, that's how I feel. You can accept it. We can move on. You can show me a different side of you if that exists. I said, ciao. The shade, if that exists. So I think they agreed to move on. So then Angie was like, I have something about you, Bronwyn. And she was like, after the camping, I was so mad. And Bronwyn was like, no, you don't have to give me any disclaimers. Like, let me just read it. Let me absorb it. Angie. This chick is funny. And she knows how to read. Ooh, she's good. So I think she sent this to Heather. And she said, Bronwyn seems nice. I like her business plan. I like her business plan of marrying a guy with one foot in the grave and the other foot on a banana peel. However, I like my plan better. I'd rather be self-made than, do whatever she did. Basically, like, just marry for money. She said she is nice, but she doesn't listen, probably because her ears are stitched down to her. Angie, she said she seems nice, but she doesn't listen, probably because her ears are stitched down to her head. I said, God damn. And she said, it's basically just saying she had a lot of work done and whatever. And she said she wears a hot dog costume to remind us that she sucked her way to the top. I'm like, damn. Woo! So Bronwyn accepts it. She was like, okay, like, let's move forward. I receive it. In her confessional, she said something like, why have you been around me if you think I'm ugly and you think I'm ugly on the inside? But she was like, no, we're going to agree to move on. So she takes it. She eats it. I was like, these women are better than me. These women are better than me. I did a post on Blue Sky. I'll have to add my little Blue Sky handle or whatever. But I did a post on Blue Sky, and it was like, I would either tear this table up. Like, I would have been like, who the do you think? Like, I would have tore shit down, or I would have ran away crying. Like, depending on the day, I would have been like, I would have had some more reaction rather than, okay, thank you for reading down my entire life. Thank you. Nah, see, I can't. Don't play a game like that with me, because you're not going to get the risk. And maybe I need to work on that. But you cannot read my entire life in and out, hit me where it hurts, and then be like, but let's move on. Maybe I need to heal in some places, but right now, that is not the move. So I was like, whoa. So then in the extended version, we see that Lisa had a text about Meredith, and it was last year. And Lisa sent this to, I forget who, might have been Angie, but she was basically like, Meredith just, spends her time like trying to dig up stuff and trying to spin the truth. And I'm so sick of her. And she's basically just causing trouble and like a shit starter and basically like that. And so it wasn't that bad. And Angie in her confessional was like, girl, that was not the worst thing you said. Like, you called her on camera a piece of shit garbage whore that happened in New York, or at least you were caught on camera saying it on your hot mic moment. So basically, that's proof that you have inside of you, you are harboring other feelings worse than that text towards Meredith. She's like, nah, you've said something else. But she was like, okay, but you played it safe. So that was that. And then, then Heather shares her text about Whitney. And she was like, Whitney is a low down piece of shit. She's thirsty. She changed. She basically sold her soul for like fame and recognition. She probably called her a liar because she is like, she does this, this, and this. And I can't believe I even sell her products in my store because I don't sell one. Damn. Again, I would be like Whitney was crying. Like all the women had like tears in their eyes, except for Meredith's like weak text. And, Mary didn't care about what Brittany said. But everyone else was like choked up because that stuff hurts. And so Whitney accepted it and squashed it. They did their little handshake or whatever, and they were done with it. I was like, y'all are better than me. Y'all are so evolved. Oh, Lord. So let's wrap this up. I know this video is running long. So then we get down to the grand finale. So then Whitney is like, okay, my text is about Lisa. Shocker. Everything's about Lisa. Lisa is like running around your brain 24/7. So then she goes, my text is about Lisa. Because I thought she was going to say something about Meredith. I'm sure there's probably something in there about Heather. I was just like, get off Lisa's jock. In the words of Bethany Frankel, get off my jock. Ooh. So she's like, I have something about Lisa. And she hands it to Lisa. Lisa zoomed in on that text. I'm like, girl, you can't see. I can't see. I'm not, but I wear contacts. And I'm like, do you not wear contacts, or do you not wear your glasses? Or maybe I have heard your vision changes after 40, and I'm terrified because, like I said, I already have a very strong prescription and can't see. So maybe she's dealing with, whatever happens with your eyesight, but she enlarged the damn text so big, and she's reading. And so Whitney sent this text to Angie and was like, I was at a party with Justin. Somebody came up to us, a woman came up to us and said, if you're ever looking for a third, like, I'm down. And Lisa Barlow can vouch for me because I made out with Lisa while I jerked off John. And Lisa reading that was like, what the is this? And threw her phone. And she's like, well, that was the first text. And she's like, no, that's not true. Like, are you freaking kidding me? So Lisa responded the way I would have responded to all of these texts. Like I said. So she was like, no. And she's like, well, that's the worst thing. And she's like, no, you're just bringing up, like, why are you bringing John into this? Why are you bringing up my marriage? And at least Whitney was like, well, I could have talked about your looks, but I wanted to tell you the worst thing. And she's like, well, what do you have to say about my looks? What about my looks? What about my looks? And so she's just doing all this rah-rah. They're going back and forth, and they're just trying to calm her down. Like, no, that's part of the game. Like, that's part of the game. Lisa, that's part of it. She's like, I know it's part of the game, but she went low. She went dirty. She's always throwing my family, my marriage through the mud. Stop it. She's like, you attacked everything I loved. My businesses, my marriage, my kid. Like, leave me alone. And so she's just like flying off the handle. And she just basically leaves. Like, Meredith is like, none of this is okay. When Meredith yells and that head gets to bobbing. I'm like, all right, Meredith. And so, so they leave, and Meredith is like, F this, like, I'm out. So they leave. And that was pretty much the end. Like, they were kind of like, we tried, this group is still fractured. We tried to repair it, but some things just can't be fixed. I feel like someone might've said, Heather or somebody might've said there's still hope, but Lisa was like, no, there's not. And then they have like the final cue cards. I don't remember what they said. There wasn't anything substantial, but there you have it. That was the finale of season 5 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Again, 10s across the board. Not one skip episode. Even some of the episodes where I was like, oh, okay, they're due for a filler. Okay, I'll let this one slide. It got better. Like, every single episode, the girls brought it. And I just love it. It was so good. So, I wrote in my another Blue Sky post, I laughed, I cried, I gasped, I laughed again. Like, it just, the range of emotions, the transparency, especially of Mary, Angie, I think those were the MVPs of this season. But again, it was a team effort. Everyone played a part, whether it was driving the storyline or being a supporter to the storyline or just being comic relief or the delusion that we all need from Housewives. Everyone played a part. It was so good. Give these women raises. Keep this production team. And it was just, and don't let the success of this season go to your head, ladies. Do not. Okay? Act like you're fighting for your life. Act like Monica just got fired and you're fighting for your life again. Because I feel like they knew how big of an impact Monica had on season 4, and they knew that they had to really come with it on season 5, and they did it. They answered the call, and I appreciate that. So anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching this very long video. Again, let me know below what you agree with, what you don't agree with. Let me know how you feel about this season. Did you feel like it was 10s across the board? I'm seeing that from everyone who I have interacted with, or, Blue Sky accounts and things like that who I've seen. But if you feel differently and you're like, nah, girl, like this was mid, let me know. But yeah, I'm really excited to recap the reunion. I only saw 2 seconds. I am not a preview girl. I don't like watching previews, but I saw like the first 2 seconds of the reunion where Todd and John were yapping. I said, ooh, the husbands are getting involved. So it's gonna be good, y'all. Ooh, I can't wait. So I'll see y'all for the next recap. Let me know below if you prefer no notes. I'm gonna try to get this Beverly Hills recap up, and I do have more detailed notes for that. So let me know if you see any difference, if you have one preference over the other, whatever. But let me know your thoughts on the season. Let me know what you're most looking forward to at the reunion. I'm looking forward to Whitney bringing some damn proof. Whitney, if you don't bring any proof to this damn reunion, you better have a file. You better have a manila folder. Call Rinna and get that manila folder that she had and didn't use. I need to see some receipts, screenshots, proof, timeline, all that. I know I said it wrong, whatever. I need to see it. If you don't have that at the reunion, Whitney, shut it. I don't think you should leave. I think you play your annoying part very well, but I'm gonna need you to find something else better to do than to keep berating Lisa for this imaginary beef that you have. Because Lisa hasn't done anything to you in a very long time. So, at least from our point of view, prove me wrong. Show some screenshots and proof at this reunion, and I will eat my words in the next recap. But anyway, so that's what I'm looking forward to, and also the husbands. I'm looking forward to all of it. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm leaving. Thanks for rocking with me. I will talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Bye.